Brilliance Audio presents Love's Cruel Redemption by C.L. Stone, performed by Natalie Eaton. Cold seeped through the windows upstairs in the Lee household. Mid-January in South Carolina wasn't as cold as Illinois, but the darkness and cooler temperatures made me want nothing more than to stay in bed with a blanket and a book. Kota's bedroom was still. The drapes to the windows had already been pulled back to let in what early morning sunlight could get over the trees. The room was cool in purple and pink hues. I had 2 or 3 blankets piled up around me. Luke was pressed to my side, hip to hip. The narrow twin mattress left little room, so no matter where I rolled over, he was at my back, my front, everywhere. Luke's legs were crossed on top of one of mine. When did he crawl in with me? I barely remembered him coming in. I must have been sleeping extra hard, or I'd gotten so used to someone crawling into the bed with me that I dismissed it entirely. Luke draped an arm over his eyes. His breathing was steady. I slowly blinked at him, keeping still so I wouldn't wake him. His tapered shoulders were bare. The tan he'd built up during the warmer months hadn't faded much. His blonde hair was getting as long as mine, and it framed his face, splaying out over the pillow. I considered getting up to wash and dress, but I was comfortable next to Luke. The bed was warmed by the 2 of us sleeping so close together. The other reason to stay in bed as long as possible was Erica. Even though it was an early hour, Erica was downstairs rattling around in the kitchen. Kota had joined her not long ago. Their voices floated up, mild tones. I couldn't really hear what they were saying. When I was around, Kota's mom seemed to ask a lot of questions. Luke turned his head to me, with one brown eye opening. An arm stretched lazily across my shoulders. He tugged me closer until my back was to his chest, and his lips dipped down at my spine along my neck. I flipped over so I could look at his sleepy brown eyes. "Good morning," I whispered. "I like mornings like this," he said. Even though I had flipped, he kept an arm around me, his forearm resting on the side of my ribcage loosely. "Erica isn't going to work today?" "It's so hard to keep track of her schedule," I said. "Sometimes she's getting in at 2 in the morning. How does she do it?" "It works for her. I think she likes the non-routine." The volume of voices downstairs rose, mostly Erica. She didn't do it often, but I'd been in the house for about a week consistently now, and I was getting used to hearing it. Usually she got very animated around Kota. I sometimes listened, because often the questions were about me. A couple of weeks ago, the Sorensen house had been taken over by my stepmother. She returned from the hospital and Marie took care of her, with a little help from the academy. They both seemed relatively happy with the arrangement. With my father staying at a small rental with his new fiancée until a divorce finalized, everything was settled. Except for me. The paperwork for the divorce was handled delicately. Each side had hired academy lawyers, luckily. The lawyers were careful with the documents they prepared, limiting my name in each page until I'd eventually disappear before any official record was signed for the court. The only one concerned at all was my father, who asked carefully about keeping me. We all knew the reason was to keep my background a secret. His assumption was that my stepmother wouldn't want me anyway. I wasn't in the clear, but the guys assured me repeatedly I wasn't going back to anyone. And me being at Erica's house for a week left her with a lot of questions about what was going on at my house. She trusted Kota, but she knew something was wrong and she wanted to know. Kota explained there was a divorce pending, but he left out a lot of details and claimed he didn't know because I didn't know the full details either. She had accepted this, but she did pry for updates.